Abso-fucking-lutely not. Absolutely not. The only way you should ever go 50-50 on a date is if it's not a fucking date. You're not interested in being sexually, romantically, or intimately part of the other person's life. Like you're not interested in that person in any shape, way, form, or fashion. You are literally just trying to be friends. Then you go 50-50 on a fucking date. Now, whoever's idea it was to go on the date needs to pay for the fucking date. So, guys, if you're asking a woman to take her out, then you should pay the fucking date. You're taking the responsibility the moment you ask her out. On the other spectrum of that, guys, if a woman asks you to take you to dinner and you accept, let her pay for let her pay for dinner. Let her pay for the date for the most part. But step up to the plate and show that you're still willing to pay your part. Pick up the tip and tip generously. Now, I understand numerous people have explained to me why they're tired of going on dates all the time and this and this. The number one thing being that they're afraid that the women are just going out with them for the free meal. Guys, if you think that the woman that you've asked out is just going out to get a free meal with you, you should never have asked her out. You shouldn't have asked that woman out if that's the fear. If you think that she's like that, then you should not have. That's a red flag already. Whatever gave you that indication should be the reason that you don't do it. If you do take a woman out, pay for the fucking thing, number one. But if you do take a woman out, I'm going to give you guys the easiest method to mitigate the damage, to mitigate the costs, and to mitigate the time loss that you may have to incur had you just taken her out the way guys typically do. This is what I do. All right. So I go to multiple places throughout the evening. I actually start at this. I love this place. It's a coffee and alcohol place. It's coffee and wine, but they have other alcohol as well. I don't drink anyways, but it doesn't matter if she orders caffeine along with me or if she orders alcohol. Either which one is a very good social lubricant, and they start talking more, and their tongue frees up with information. So I actually start there. If things go well, we'll be there for probably an hour. If things go well, we go to another place for appetizers. And let's say, however, she says something that's like a yellow flag, a caution flag comes out. All right, no red flags. Now, if a red flag happens, you're just like, hey, I'm going to call it here. I'm going to just take you home and we're going to call it a night. Let's say you're like, oh man, family is important to me. I grew up with a lot of brothers and sisters and I want to have, 3 to 4 kids. And she's like, well, I don't think I want kids. Perfect. No problem. That's a good reason to stop the date right then and there. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to waste my time. We'll just call it here. I'm going to pay, I already paid for the drinks. We'll finish our drinks and I'll take you home. No harm, no foul. Now, but let's say a yellow flag comes out. Nothing major, but just something doesn't seem right. You go to the next place for appetizers. If she says something that you don't enjoy there as well, then you can call it there. Hey, I'm going to call it an evening right here. We'll finish our appetizers, finish our conversation, and then I'll take you home. If everything goes well from the coffee place to the place with appetizers, now I have already a reservation at the place that I'm going to go to. Then we move to actual dinner. Most likely, by the time you get through the first 2 places, you'll already be vibing. You will not have any questions in your mind by the time you make it to dinner because you guys should be vibing and vibing really well already. So you go to dinner, you have a great time. If dinner goes well, I actually go to another place for dessert. Man, usually we just go to this little cute ice cream shop and just get, a scoop of ice cream each. At this point, they don't really give a fuck where we're at anymore. She's just trying to be involved with you. Now, if everything goes well there, then you can go someplace for drinks. And if everything goes well there, you know how the night goes and you continue moving forward. The thing is you're mitigating the time loss, which is more important for me than the money loss. I don't care about the money. I'm more concerned with the time loss. So you can judge at each place how much you want to invest, how much more you want to invest time and money-wise throughout the date. You can cut the date off at any point in time to mitigate the loss. Also, I don't care if you guys can afford it. I don't care if you can afford it. Don't take a woman out to a 5-star restaurant especially on the first date. You just don't do that. Take her to a place that has character. Don't go to a fucking chain restaurant. Man, let's be real. Chain restaurants, the food is never that good. It's not as good. We all know it. We all know. If you find some little hole in the wall place, usually the food is better there than anywhere else. We all know this. It's an accepted fact for most people. Man, go to somewhere that's not a chain restaurant, that's kind of low key, but has a lot of good character to it, has good food, obviously. Make a woman earn what you have to give. Give freely what you have in the capacity that you feel is correct and necessary throughout the relationship. In a first date setting, man, you're a fucking clown if you're spending $300, $400, $500. If you're spending anywhere near that much, you're a fucking clown. And if she doesn't call you back, I don't fucking blame her because you're a fucking clown. Even if you can afford it, you don't do that. You make a woman earn what you have to give. You give freely in the circumstances in which it's necessary. You ask her out for a date, you pay for the fucking date. You don't go 50-50. You pay for the fucking date. But you don't spend, man, I cannot even imagine. I don't think, I'm going to be honest, somewhere around $150 is probably going to be about right with what I do. Maybe 200 because sometimes I have to get parking. It just depends. That could be right. But I'm going from place to place to place, so I have to park in a new place because it's downtown. You got to pay for parking, obviously, oftentimes. So I'm paying for parking. I'm tipping generously each place that I go. It does rack up a little bit, but at each point, I have the option of calling the date short. If a woman is not satisfied with anything that you're doing at any point in time, you call the date. If she says anything that you don't enjoy at any point in time, you call the date. If you don't feel that you're vibing as strong as you should be at any point in time, you call the date. You only move to the next place and the next step if everything is going well. This is my advice to you on an easy way to judge the date as it moves forward, and then you can either mitigate the damage and the time loss and the cost loss that you would go through, or you can continue to go through the date throughout the night. That's my suggestion. Under no circumstances, if you're going 50-50, that's not even a fucking date. That's two friends going out to eat.